Lena, sit down. The way Ethan said my name made my stomach tighten. His voice was flat, almost practiced. I sat anyway, clutching my coffee like it was going to save me. You're scaring me. What is this about? He looked at me for a long second, then exhaled. I can't marry you. For a heartbeat, the world went silent. What? My voice cracked, embarrassingly small. I met someone, he said, as if he were telling me the weather. Her name's Vanessa. She can give me the life you can't. I blinked at him, trying to process. The life I can't. What does that even mean? Money, status, opportunities. She's connected in ways you're not. You're dumping me for a networking upgrade. My laugh was sharp and ugly. Are you hearing yourself? Don't make this harder than it has to be, he muttered. We want different things. I wanted you, I said. My fingers dug into the coffee cup so hard I thought it would shatter. We've been planning a wedding, Ethan. Do you know how many hours, how much love Vive poured into this? He didn't flinch. I know, and I'm sorry, but you'll get over it. Get over it. I repeated, my voice rising. You've been lying to me for how long? He shifted in his seat. A few months. My throat tightened. So while I was picking out flowers, you were picking out her. Don't twist it, twist it. You cheated. You proposed to me, promised me forever, and now you're just, I broke off shaking my head. Why am I even surprised? You've been unhappy too, he said defensively. You just didn't want to admit it. Unhappy with you? No. Unhappy with the way you stopped trying? Yes. This is pointless, he said, pushing back his chair. No, Ethan. Pointless is throwing away years for a woman whose name you probably can't even spell without Googling. He sighed. I didn't come here to fight. I came to be honest. You? Came here to feel less guilty? I shot back. You came here so you could tell yourself you didn't just disappear. He looked at me like I was a child who didn't understand the rules of the world. I hope you find someone who makes you happy. I hope you find someone who makes you regret this, I said, my voice low and steady. He stood, leaving a tip for his untouched drink. Goodbye, Lena. I didn't say goodbye. I watched him walk out of the cafe, his coat perfect, his stride confident. I wondered if Vanessa was waiting for him in a car outside. The coffee in my hand had gone cold. My hands were shaking. Put the cup down before I dropped it. Outside, the rain had started thin, cold drops that stuck to my hair and clothes. I walked home without an umbrella because I didn't care. People glanced at me on the sidewalk, but no one stopped. By the time I reached my apartment, my clothes were plastered to my skin. I peeled them off, changed into pajamas, and stared at the stack of wedding invitations on the dining table. The gold lettering caught the light, mocking me. You are invited to celebrate the wedding of Ethan Hayes and Lena Moore. I picked one up. My name looked so happy there. My hands trembled as I tore it in half. The sound was louder than it should have. Ben, I tore another, and another. Paper confetti piled on the floor, pieces of my future scattered in white and gold. I sat on the floor in the middle of it all, breathing hard. My phone buzzed on the table, Maya's name on the screen. I didn't answer. I pressed my palms too, my eyes until I saw stars. Somewhere in the back of my mind, I heard Ethan's voice. She can give me the life you can't. I wanted to scream. I wanted to sleep for a year. I wanted to erase every moment I'd ever looked at him and thought forever. Instead, I picked up the ring from the coffee table. It felt heavier than it had the day he gave it to me. I turned it in my fingers, watching the diamond catch the light. Then I set it down. The apartment was too quiet. My heartbeat was too loud. In that moment, something settled in me, not peace, not acceptance. It's just a sharp, cold edge. He thought I'd get over it. I wouldn't. Not the way he imagined. Did you hear? The girl at the next table whispered it. But I still caught it. My hands froze around my coffee cup. Vanessa Moore, she's marrying Ethan Hayes. 2 weeks from now. Vanessa, the other girl said. The Vanessa. Her dad's worth millions. I stared at the foam in my latte. My name used to be the one after Ethan's. Now it was hers. She's gorgeous, the first girl continued, and her ring, huge. I saw the photo. I stood before I could hear more. Outside. The air felt heavy, like it carried the words with me. I walked fast, but every block seemed to echo their voices. By the time I unlocked my apartment door, Maya was already inside. Pacing with a bag of pastries. Don't even start, I muttered. Oh, I'm starting. She tossed her coat onto the couch. That piece of garbage left you for a woman whose net worth could pay off a small country's debt. And now she stopped watching my face. You know, already. Calf gossip, I said flatly. Calf gossip. She grabbed my shoulders. This isn't gossip, Lena. This is war. I'm not doing this with you. She narrowed her eyes. Oh, so you're just going to let them walk all over you? I'm going to live my life, I said. That's a lie, and you know it. I sank onto the couch. I don't even want revenge right now. I trailed off. What? Oh, she pressed. To breathe without feeling like I'm choking. I admitted. Her expression softened. Okay? But if I see him, I'm breaking his nose. I almost smiled. Please don't get arrested for me. She pulled out her phone. Fine, but you need to see this. I hesitated. What now? There. Engagement party, she said, shoving the screen at me. 2 weeks from Saturday. Guess where? I looked at the image. The venue's grand chandelier glowed above a caption in perfect script. Join us in celebrating the engagement of Ethan Hayes and Vanessa Moore. The hotel name stabbed me in the chest. No. Oh, yes, Maya said grimly. The exact place. You booked for your wedding. I couldn't speak for a moment. The image blurred in my vision. It's like they're doing it on purpose, she continued. Like they want to rub it in your face. I'm not going, I said, my voice sharp. You should go. I said I'm not going. Lena, imagine walking in there looking like a goddess while he's sweating bullets. No, I stood, shoving my hands into my hair. I'm not turning my life into a circus. Let them have their party. Maya crossed her arms. Lying to yourself. I turned away. Drop it. She didn't. You're going to think about this every day until it happens. You'll picture her in the dress, him smiling like he didn't destroy you. And you'll wish you'd been there to show him what he lost. Stop, I said, but my voice cracked. Her tone softened. You know I'm right. I closed my eyes. The image came uninvited me. Walking into that ballroom, every head turning, Ethan's eyes widening. I hated how much I wanted it. Maya touched my arm. You don't have to plan anything. Just show up. Let your existence ruin his night. I laughed, but it was bitter. You make it sound so easy. It is easy, she said. The hard part is admitting you want to do it. I pulled away, pacing to the window. Outside, the city lights flickered. 2 weeks. That was nothing. That was everything. I'll think about it, I murmured. That's a yes, she said immediately. It's not a yes. It's a yes, but I'm scared to admit it, she corrected. I didn't answer. A reflection in the glass looked like a stranger, eyes tired, shoulders tense. Somewhere under all of that was the girl who used to believe in Ethan. Maya gathered her things. I'll text you dress options. I didn't agree to this. She grinned. You didn't have to. When she left, the apartment felt too quiet. I sat at the table with the glow of my phone screen still on the invitation photo. The chandelier glittered above strangers in my mind. The same place I'd imagined saying my vows. It would be the place they toasted to my replacement. I told myself again, I won't go. But I already knew I was lying. Lena Moore. I looked up from my desk. Daniel was standing in the doorway, tall, crisp suit. A smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. Odd. I'd only ever seen him in passing at company functions. Yes, I said cautiously. He stepped inside. Like he belonged there. I need a favor. I blinked from me. From you. He set a heavy cream envelope on my desk. I'm hosting a charity gala this weekend. I'd like you to come. I raised an eyebrow. You want me at a black tie event because I could use good company, he said smoothly. Because it's my engagement party. I stared at him. Your engagement party? Correct? His tone was casual, almost amused. I don't even know you. I pointed out then this will be a good chance to change that. I laughed under my breath. Is this some kind of prank? No prank. He tapped the envelope. Open it. I slid a finger under the flap. The invitation was thick, gold embossed, the kind of paper that screamed expensive. My eyes caught on the venue name. My stomach dropped. That's the yes, he said, watching me. I set it down carefully. You know, that's where my wedding was supposed to be. I heard. I narrowed my eyes. And you still chose to invite me? Especially because of that, he said. I like interesting evenings. I shook my head. I don't crash. Engagement parties? You wouldn't be crashing. You'd be my guest. I'm not exactly in the mood to celebrate love right now. Good, he said, leaning slightly closer. Neither am I. Something in his voice made me pause. So, this isn't a real engagement party? It's real enough, he said. But the relationship, let's just say it's complicated. I tilted my head, and you think I'd make the night more, what? Fun? Awkward? Memorable? His smile was deliberate. I pushed the envelope back toward him. I don't think before you say no, he interrupted. Consider this. Ethan will be there. My pulse stumbled. What? He works part-time for the event caterer, Daniel said matter-of-factly. He'll be serving drinks. I stared at him, heat flooding my face. You're serious? Very. I swallowed. Why are you telling me this? Because you deserve to see him look up and realize you're untouchable now. That's manipulative, I said, but my voice was softer than it should have been. Maybe. But you were going to show up at Vanessa's engagement party anyway, weren't you? I didn't answer. His smile widened. So come to mine instead. It'll be better theater. This isn't theater for me. No, he said quietly. It's closure. Trust me, I'm familiar with the concept. I leaned back in my chair, studying him. And what do you get out of this? A date? Who will keep the room's attention? He said without hesitation. I hate boring parties. I should have told him no. Instead, I found myself saying, what's the dress code? Black tie, he said, as if he'd already won. I'll send a car. I didn't agree yet, I said quickly. But you will. He turned toward the door. Saturday. 7 sharp. When he was gone, I stared at the invitation like it might burn me. The gold letters gleamed in the office light. It's the venue name pulsing in my chest like a bruise. That night I called Maya. You're going, she said instantly when I explained. I never said that. You didn't have to. Ethan's working? There, oh my God, Lena, this is fate. It's petty, I said. It's perfect, she corrected. You walk in looking incredible on the arm of another man. Ethan won't know whether to choke or faint. I tried to sound indifferent. Daniel's not exactly my type. Who cares about type? This is about optics. You're ridiculous. I said, but I could feel the corner of my mouth twitching. You're smiling, she accused. I'm not. You are, she said. Admit it. Tore picturing his face. I hesitated, maybe a little. Good. I'll help you find a dress that says I've moved on and I look better without you. Maya, no arguments. Now this is happening. When I hung up, I set the invitation on my nightstand. I told myself I hadn't decided yet. But as I drifted off, I kept seeing Ethan's face, stunned. Regretful while I stood there, beautiful, unbroken. Maya stood in the middle of my bedroom, holding up 2 dresses, black or red. She asked. I pointed at the red instantly. That one? She grinned. Silk, scarlet, cut to kill. I like it. I frowned. You're enjoying this way too much. Of course I am. This is my Super Bowl. I rolled my eyes. It's just a party. Not just a party, she said, laying the dress on the bed. It's a battlefield. You walk in looking like this, and Ethan won't recover until next year. I hesitated. Maybe it's too much. Too much? She gave me a look. There is no such thing as too much when you're walking into a room with your ex. Before I could answer, there was a knock at the door. Come in, I called. Grandma Rose stepped inside, leaning on her cane. I heard there's a dress involved. Maya lit up. Perfect timing. We need a second opinion. Grandma's sharp eyes swept over the gown. Scarlet. Bold choice, too bold, I asked. Not if you wear it like you mean it, she said. Do you? I hesitated. I don't know. She stepped closer, lowering her voice. Lena, sometimes the best revenge is letting them see you shine without them. You don't have to say a word, your presence will do it for you. Maya nodded. Exactly what I've been saying. I sighed. You two make it sound like I'm marching into war? You are, Grandma said simply. I laughed, but it came out nervous. What if I see him and freeze? Maya tossed me a lipstick. Tube? Then you take a sip of champagne, smile like you're in on a secret, and keep walking. I turned the lipstick in my hand. What color is this? Courage, she said. It's literally called Crimson Flame, I muttered. Same thing, Maya replied. Grandma sat on the bed. You've been through worse, Lena. You can survive a night in a red dress. I ran my fingers over the fabric. It's not the dress I'm worried about, it's me. Maya tilted her head. Do you think you're not ready? I think I'm half ready, I admitted. Part of me wants him to see me and regret everything. Part of me doesn't even want to look at him. Grandma smiled faintly. Then give him what he deserves, your absence in every way that matters, even when you're standing 3 feet away. Maya pointed at her. See? That's queen-level strategy. I shook my head, but a small smile crept in. Fine, I'll wear it. Maya clapped her hands. Hair up or down? Up, Grandma said firmly. Show your neck. It's a power move. I laughed. Since when is my neck a power move? Since always, she said. Maya pulled my hair into a loose twist, letting a few strands fall around my face. Perfect. Ethan will spontaneously combust. Stop, I said. But I didn't mean it. She handed me the lipstick. Go on, I leaned toward the mirror, applying the deep red carefully. The color was bold, defiant. When I looked up, Maya was grinning at me in the reflection. Told you, courage. Grandma's gaze softened. You look like yourself again. I studied my reflection. My hair was flawless, my lips daring, my eyes brighter than they'd been in weeks. For the first time since Ethan left, I didn't see someone broken. Okay, I said quietly. Let's do this. Maya raised her hands in mock victory. Atta girl. Grandma patted my arm. Make them remember your name, Lena. The valet opened my door, and for a second, I almost told him to drive me home. Maya's voice rang in my head, battlefield. I stepped out. The hotel's entrance glittered under the warm lights. I took a deep breath, walking toward the glass. Doors, heels clicking like a countdown. The moment I stepped inside, I froze. Champagne. The voice was familiar, too familiar. I looked up. Ethan. Black vest, white shirt, bow tie. A silver tray trembling just slightly in his hands. My breath caught. You're observing? His jaw tightened. Hello, Lena. I stared at him. Hello. He glanced around. Not here. Why not? Afraid your boss will hear me. He swallowed. This isn't what it looks like. It looks pretty. Clear to me, I said. Vanessa's big night, and you're the help. His knuckles whitened around the tray. Don't. I tilted my head. Don't what? Notice, please, Lena. Champagne. Shh. A man's voice interrupted. One of the actual guests brushing past me. Ethan offered the tray automatically. I took a glass without looking away from him. I'll take one. I might need it. He lowered his voice. We shouldn't do this here. I sipped the champagne. Why not? Afraid I'll ruin her party. His eyes flicked toward the ballroom. You don't understand? Oh, I think. I understand just fine, I said. 2 months ago, You were picking centerpieces with me. Then you threw me away for a richer model, and now you're standing here like a prop in a tux." His face slushed. "It's complicated." "No?" I said sharply. "It's humiliating for you. For me, it's poetic." He set the tray down on a nearby table, his hands unsteady. "Can we talk? Please, talk." I let out a laugh. "What's left to say?" "Everything he said. Things you don't know." "I don't need to know," I told him. "You made your choice." He stepped closer. It wasn't Lena. Maya's voice sliced through the tension. She appeared at my side, her eyes narrowing when she saw him. Oh, wow. Now, this is a plot twist. Ethan looked away. Maya smirked. "Guess the honeymoon's over." "Stop," he muttered. "Why?" she asked. "You didn't stop when you left her crying on the floor." I touched her arm, Maya. She glanced at me. "What?" "I'm just saying what we're all thinking." Ethan ran a hand over his face. "You have no idea what's going on?" "Oh, enlighten us," she said. I exhaled slowly. "Maya, go inside. I'll be there in a minute." Her eyes darted between us, but she finally nodded. "Fine, don't. Let him rewrite history." When she disappeared into the ballroom, I turned back to him. "Well?" I asked. He looked at me for a long moment. "She's not what you think." "Really?" "Because I think she's the woman you left me for. She's dangerous," he said quietly. I laughed once, sharp. "Dangerous? Is that the excuse you're going with now?" "You don't get it," he said. "I save it." I cut. "I didn't come here for you." Something flickered in his eyes. "Then why?" I smiled faintly. "Because I look amazing in red." He let out a breath. "You do." I took a step back. "Goodbye, Ethan, Lena." But I was already walking toward the ballroom. The air felt heavier, my pulse faster. Inside, the music swelled, glasses clinked, laughter spilled through the space. My heels sank slightly into the plush carpet as I moved through the crowd. The champagne glass still in my hand. I caught sight of Vanessa near the center of the room, tall, sleek, dripping diamonds, smiling like a queen holding court. She didn't see me yet, but I saw her. And behind me, I could feel Ethan watching Lena. I turned, startled, as Daniel crossed the room toward me. His smile was easy, practiced, the kind that made everyone else in the room think they were the only person he'd come for. "You made it?" he said warmly, slipping an arm around my waist as though we'd done this 100 times. I blinked. Apparently. The chatter around us shifted, like the faint rustle of a breeze. Heads turned, eyes lingered. The whispers weren't about Ethan. They were about Daniel and me. "You're stealing my spotlight." Daniel murmured against my ear, still smiling for the audience. I tilted my head toward him. "Trust me, this isn't intentional." "Sure it isn't." His arm stayed firmly at my waist as he guided me toward the champagne tower. "Care to tell me why half the room is staring?" "Because you have your arm around a woman in a red dress, and apparently that's headline material." "That can't be all." I hesitated, then said quietly, "Ethan." Daniel's gaze sharpened. "The ex." Yes, the one who decided a socialite was more his style. "And let me guess," Vanessa IC nodded toward the center of the room, the one dripping in diamonds. Daniel's eyes found her immediately. "Ah, our charming hostess. She's also the reason he left me." My voice was even, but my stomach nodded. Daniel's lips curved in a slow, almost dangerous smile. "Then tonight will be fun." I arched a brow. "It's fun." He leaned closer. "You'll see." Across the room, Vanessa had noticed us. Her smile was perfect, but her eyes weren't. They tracked Daniel's hand on my waist, then flicked to my face. "Keep smiling," Daniel murmured. "You're causing quite the stir." "I'm not here to cause anything." "Too late." I glanced toward the entrance, and that's when I saw Ethan again, tray in hand, moving through the crowd. "Ah!" His eyes scanned the room until they landed on me. He froze. Daniel followed my gaze. "The waiter." "Not just the waiter?" I said softly. Ethan's steps were deliberate as he approached. The closer he got, the tighter my chest felt. Champagne. His voice was steady, but I saw the way his hand trembled on the tray. "Thank you," Daniel said smoothly, taking 2 glasses. He handed one to me without breaking eye contact with Ethan. "Join us for a toast." Ethan's jaw flexed. "Working," Daniel shrugged. "Pity," I lifted my glass. "Thanks, Ethan." My voice was polite, but I let the smile be sharp enough to draw blood. His gaze flicked from me to Daniel's arm still around my waist. "You look different." "Better?" I asked lightly. Something in his expression shifted. Regret, maybe? Or something uglier. "You don't have to. I'm not doing anything," I said, cutting him off. "Just enjoying the party." Daniel clinked his glass against mine. "To enjoying the party." Ethan's knuckles tightened around the tray. "Right?" I took a slow sip, not looking away from him. "Excuse me?" he muttered finally, retreating. Into the crowd. Daniel chuckled. "That went well." Hailed, my pulse still racing. "Define well?" "You rattled him," Daniel said. "That's something." I shook my head. "I didn't come here to rattle anyone." He grinned. "Maybe not. But you're a natural." From across the room, Vanessa's gaze locked on me again. Her smile this time was thinner, sharper. Daniel followed my line of sight. "She doesn't look thrilled. Good." The words slipped out before I could stop it. Daniel's smirk deepened. "Now you're starting to sound like me." "Lena, wait, I didn't stop." My hand tightened around Daniel's arm as we moved toward the far side of the ballroom. "Do you know him?" Daniel asked quietly. Unfortunately, from behind us, Ethan's voice followed. "Are you gonna give me a second?" I kept walking. "I don't think so." Daniel's smile stayed fixed for the benefit of onlookers. Persistent, isn't he? "I'm not here for him." Before he could reply, the music shifted. Heads turned toward the grand staircase. Vanessa descended like she'd choreographed the moment's silver gown. Diamonds catching every light. A smile polished within an inch of its life. "Subtle," I murmured. "She's making sure everyone sees her," Daniel said, "including you." Vanessa's eyes swept the room and landed on us. Her smile sharpened. "Lena," she said, approaching with a glass of champagne in hand. "I almost didn't recognize you." "Red is bold." "Thank you," I replied evenly. "It takes confidence to wear something so attention-grabbing. Not everyone could pull it off." Her tone dripped with sweet poison. "I'm glad you think I can." Her gaze flicked to Daniel. "And you brought a date?" "Not just a date," Daniel said smoothly, kissing my temple. "Lena's the highlight of my evening." Vanessa's lashes lowered, calculating. How charming. "Daniel, you must introduce her to the right people. Not everyone here is accustomed to new faces." Daniel's grin didn't falter. "Of course. In fact, that's exactly what I was about to do." She glanced at me again, the corners of her lips twitching. "Enjoy the party, oh Ethan." Her voice rose, slicing through the chatter. Ethan turned from across the room. "Be a dear and fetch more drinks for our table," she called. I saw the muscle in his jaw tighten. Right away. Vanessa gave me one last smile before gliding away. Daniel let out a low whistle. "She's a piece of work." "She's consistent," I said. He studied my face. "Did that bother you?" "No." I sipped my champagne. "I've dealt with worse." Daniel smirked. "You're tougher than you look. Don't test that theory." He chuckled and led me toward a group near the stage. "Lena, meet Richard, board chairman of the Mason Foundation, and his wife Claire." I shook hands, smiled, made polite small talk. Daniel kept me close, his hand never leaving the small of my back. "Daniel's told us you're in publishing," Claire said warmly. "Guilty," I replied. "Though tonight I'm just here to enjoy the company." Richard nodded approvingly. Refreshing. We moved on to another group, then another. Each introduction was smooth, Daniel's charm doing half the work for me. Still, I could feel Ethan's presence like static across the room. Every time I glanced around, he was watching, Enjoying yourself?" Daniel asked in a lull between conversations. "I think so." "Good, because your ex looks like he's about to snap a champagne flute in half." I allowed myself the smallest smile. "Not my problem." Daniel's voice lowered. "No, but it's fun to watch." From the corner of my eye, I saw Vanessa laughing with a cluster of guests. Her diamonds sparkled, her eyes less so. Every so often, her gaze darted toward me. "She's keeping tabs," I murmured. "Let her," Daniel said. "You're winning whatever game she thinks she's playing." I wasn't sure if that was true, but I liked the sound of it. Ethan reappeared, weaving through the crowd with a tray of drinks. He set them down at Vanessa's table, his movements clipped, controlled dot. Her hand brushed his arm in what looked casual, but wasn't. "Thank you, darling," she said loudly enough for nearby tables to hear. I saw the flicker in his eyes, resentment. Shame. Something darker. Daniel leaned in. "You almost pity him." "Almost," I said. "Don't," he advised. "He made his choice." "I know." Still, as Ethan straightened and turned, our eyes met. For a heartbeat, neither of us looked away. Then Daniel's hand squeezed mine, grounding me. "Come on," he murmured. "Let's keep making them talk." And just like that, we moved deeper into the glittering crowd. Leaving Ethan standing there, tray in hand, his jaw still tight. Daniel handed me a fresh glass of champagne. "You're quiet." "I'm watching." Watching or plotting? Both. His smile was slow. "Good. Then you'll appreciate this. Your ex Ethan doesn't work at Mason and Cole anymore." I blinked. "What?" "Fired? Weeks ago?" "Word is, he mismanaged something badly." I glanced toward the far table where Ethan stood behind Vanessa's chair, refilling glasses like he'd been hired for it. "Can she kept him?" Daniel's voice dipped low. "She likes projects, the kind she can control." "She's not keeping him. She's owning him." He tilted his head. Sharp observation. Not hard to see. "He doesn't look like a man in love. He looks caged." Daniel clinked his glass lightly against mine. "Then you don't need to destroy him. She's already doing it for you." I sipped my drink, maybe, but I still want him to understand what he threw away. Daniel smirked. "That's the spirit." We drifted toward a quieter corner. The hum of conversation softened, replaced by the muffled notes of the quartet playing near the stage. "Tell me," Daniel said, "what would you say to him if you had one unfiltered minute?" I thought for a moment. Nothing. Words wouldn't be enough. He'd have to see it. "See what? That I'm better off? That I don't need him? That I can walk into the room he's in? And he's the one who looks small." Daniel studied me. "You know, you're better at this than most people I play these games with. This isn't a game." He smiled faintly. "It is. You just haven't admitted it yet." Before I could reply, a shadow fell over us. Double quotes, Lena. Ethan's voice was careful, controlled. "Can we talk?" Daniel didn't move his arm from around my waist. "She's busy." Ethan's eyes narrowed at him before returning to me. "Please." I tilted my head. "About what? The drinks menu?" His jaw worked. "It's not like that, isn't it?" I let my gaze sweep deliberately over his vest, the bow tie, the tray still in his hand. Looks pretty clear to me." Color rose in his face. "You think you know?" I don't think I cut in. I know enough. Daniel's tone was light but edged. "You should probably get back to your duties." Ethan's eyes flashed at him, then at me, but he said nothing. He turned and walked away, his shoulders tight. Daniel leaned in. Enjoyed that a little. From across the room, Vanessa's laugh rang outright brittle. She was holding court again, a small circle of guests hanging on her every word. Ethan hovered at her elbow, silent. "Watch." Daniel murmured. Vanessa placed an empty glass on his tray without looking at him. "More champagne, darling." Her tone carried just enough to turn heads. Ethan's mouth tightened, but he obeyed. Daniel's hand brushed mine. "See? She's doing the work for you." "I see it." The thought should have satisfied me. It de-dialed tight. We moved toward another group-hand, older couple, a young woman in a green silk gown. Daniel did most of the talking. I nodded, smiled, played the part. Still, I could feel Ethan's gaze landing on me every so often when the conversation lulled. Daniel excused us. "You're distracted," he said as we walked away. "I'm deciding something." "And what's that? How far I'm willing to take this?" He gave me a slow, approving look. "I can help with that." The quartet shifted into a slower melody. Guests moved toward the dance floor. Daniel offered his hand. "Dance with me?" I hesitated. "He'll see. That's the point." I placed my hand in his, and he led me onto the floor. His palm was warm against my back, his movements confident but unhurried. "You're tense," he murmured. "I'm thinking, stop. Just move with me." I did. Gradually, the noise around us blurred. When I glanced over Daniel's shoulder, Ethan was standing at the edge of the floor, tray forgotten at his side. His eyes were locked on me. Daniel noticed. "There's your moment," he whispered. I smiled, not at Ethan, but at Daniel, and let the music carry me past him without a glance. It wasn't until we reached the far side of the floor that I let myself breathe. Daniel's mouth curved. "You played that well. Wasn't an act." "Good," he said. "Because the best masks are the ones you almost believe yourself." And for the first time that night, I wondered if he was right. The crystal glasses chimed as the host called for a toast. Vanessa stood near the center of the room, holding her champagne high. "Everyone, a moment." I felt Daniel shift beside me. "Brace yourself," he murmured. Vanessa's smile was blinding, her voice carrying with effortless precision. "To a wonderful evening, dear friends, and to the people who make it possible." She turned, resting a manicured hand on Ethan's arm, including my handsome little waiter. The room rippled with laughter. I caught the flicker in Ethan's ice heat, humiliation before he masked it. Daniel leaned closer. "She didn't just say that." "She did," I said softly. Etha managed a stiff smile. Pouring champagne into the nearest flute, Vanessa tilted her head toward him. "Careful, darling, you're spilling." More laughter. Daniel's hand brushed mine under the table. You enjoying this?" "Not exactly," I said. "But I'm not stopping it." The toasts resumed, but the room's energy had shifted. People were whispering behind napkins. Ethan avoided looking at me. Or maybe he avoided looking at anyone. "Brutal," Daniel murmured. "She meant it to be." Before I could say more, a woman in emerald silk leaned across the table toward me. Her perfume was strong, her speech slightly slurred. "You're Lena, right?" "Yes, I'm Olivia. We've met before, I think. I don't remember." "That's fine," she said, dismissing it with a flick of her wrist. "I'm only here because Vanessa insisted." Daniel watched her with faint amusement. "And yet here you are?" Olivia ignored him. "She's not as perfect as she wants everyone to think." I tilted my head. "No," she smirked. "She's already got someone else. Ethan's just," she made a vague hand gesture, "filler." I kept my tone light. It's bold information to give a stranger. "You don't look like a stranger to me," she said. "You look like someone who'd appreciate knowing." Daniel raised a brow at me. "Interesting. I studied Olivia. Who's the other man?" She shrugged, swaying slightly. "Don't know his name. Some investor type. She's been meeting him in the city. Late dinners, no Ethan in sight." Vanessa's laugh cut across the room again, sharp enough to snag attention. Ethan was at her side, holding her glass while she gestured grandly. "Why tell me?" I asked. Olivia smiled crookedly. "'Cause I'm tired of her. Q. And you, well, you don't seem like you're here to kiss her ring." Daniel chuckled. "She has you pegged." I glanced at Ethan, then back to Olivia. "Thanks for the tip." Olivia leaned in closer. "Just promise me one thing when it blows up. You'll be there to see it." "I'll think about it," I said. She laughed and drifted away, nearly bumping into a waiter. Daniel's gaze followed her. Loose lips. dangerous combination. And useful, I added. His mouth curved. Planning something. Not yet, just collecting pieces. Across the room, Ethan caught my eye for the first time since the toast. His expression was unreadable languor, shame, something else layered beneath. Daniel murmured, "He knows you heard it." "I know." Ethan turned back to Vanessa, who was now in full performance mode, telling a story that made her audience gasp and laugh in equal measure. He stood beside her like an accessory she'd grown bored of wearing. Daniel touched my elbow. "You don't even have to play your hand. She's doing it all for you. Can see that." The champagne in my glass fizzed softly. "Funny thing about crumbling foundations," I said. "Sometimes you just need to watch." Oh. Daniel's smile was slow. "And sometimes you give the last push." "Maybe," I said. "But tonight, I'm just going to let her keep talking." He leaned back in his chair, clearly entertained. "You're colder than I thought. Practical." The music swelled again, people drifting toward the dance floor. Ethan moved to refill glasses at another table, his posture stiff, his jaw tight. Vanessa didn't even glance at him. I lifted my champagne, letting the bubbles tickle my lip before taking a measured sip. Whatever's between them, it's already breaking. Daniel nodded toward Olivia, now laughing too loudly at something another guest said. "And now you have the proof." "Proof," I echoed. "And patience." Ethan walked past us, the tray balanced in one hand. For a moment, his gaze flicked to mine. I held it, steady, until he looked away. Daniel watched him go. "He's unraveling." "Yes, and you're smiling." I let the smile show just enough, a little. The hallway was quiet compared to the music and laughter spilling from the ballroom. I'd only taken a few steps when I heard his voice. "Lena." I stopped. Slowly, I turned. Ethan stood there, his hands clenched at his sides. "Can we talk?" I asked. "About what?" My voice was sharper than I meant, but I didn't soften it. "Please." I crossed my arms. "You have 2 minutes." He stepped closer, glancing toward the ballroom. "Vanessa isn't what I thought she was." I let the silence stretch. "I made a mistake," he said finally. I raised an eyebrow. "Just one." He flinched. "I didn't mean to hurt you like that." "Yes, you did," I said. "You just didn't care enough at the time." "It's not fair." "It's exactly fair." His jaw worked. I thought she cared about me. About us. Us. I let the word hang there, cold. "There is no us, Ethan." He shook his head. "Lena, listen. She treats me like a waiter." "Heisa." His eyes flicked to mine. "You saw that?" "Everyone saw that." Took another step forward. "I'm sorry, I swear. I didn't know it would be like this." "You didn't know?" I asked, quietly. "Or you didn't care until it started hurting you?" He exhaled, looking down at the floor. "I messed up. I thought I was choosing something better, but you weren't choosing me." I finished. His gaze snapped back to mine. "I want to fix it." I laughed once, sharp and humorless. "Fix it." "Ethan, you can't unchoose me. People make mistakes," he said. "We can start over." "Start over," I repeated. "Do you think I'm still the girl who would have said yes?" His voice dropped. "A part of you still cares." "Part of me," I agreed. "A part that's dead and buried." He looked away, jaw tightening. "I don't expect you to. Forgive me overnight. You don't get to expect anything." I cut in. He swallowed hard. "I'm just asking for a chance." "You had your chance," I said, "and you threw it away for someone who makes you hold her glass like a prop." His face flushed. "It's not like that." "It's exactly like that. I watched her humiliate you tonight, Ethan. I didn't even have to lift a finger." He hesitated, then said quietly, "So you enjoyed it?" "I didn't enjoy it." I said, "I just didn't stop it." He stepped closer again. "Lena, I'm telling you, I made a mistake, and I'm telling you, I don't care." That stopped him. "You don't care," he repeated. "No," I said. "I cared once, enough to plan a life with you. Enough to forgive the little things because I believed in the big picture. But that girl, she's gone. His breathing hitched, almost imperceptibly. I thought you'd understand. I do understand, I said. Better than you think. You wanted more than what we had. You thought you'd find it somewhere else. You didn't. And now you want to come back because you're losing. That's not it, as I said firmly. And I'm not a consolation prize. He was silent for a long moment. The muffled music from the ballroom pulsed between us like a heartbeat. Finally, he said, "So that's it. After everything." That's it. He searched my face like he was trying to find the version of me who would have softened. I kept my expression still. "You're different," he said. "Yes," I replied. "That's called moving on." His shoulders sagged. "You really won't give me another chance?" "No," he nodded slowly, as if the weight of it had just settled in. I stepped back toward the ballroom. "You made your choice, Ethan. Live with it." His voice was quieter now. "You mean live without you?" I didn't answer. I turned and walked away, my heels clicking against the marble. Behind me, I felt his stare heavy. Almost desperate, but I didn't look back. When I re-entered the ballroom, the music wrapped around me again, loud and bright. Daniel caught my eye from across the room, his brows lifting in silent question. I gave a small nod as I crossed the floor. I realized something Ethan understood now. He hadn't just lost Vanessa's illusion. He'd lost me, completely. And there was no getting me back. I barely made it 2 steps back into the ballroom before I heard it. "Ethan." Vanessa's voice cut through the music like shattered glass. He froze mid-stride, still near the hallway. "What are you doing?" she demanded, heels clicking as she stormed toward him. I was just talking to her. Her eyes flicked to me like knives in the middle of my event. "It wasn't like, oh, I'm sure it wasn't," she said, dripping venom. "Do you enjoy humiliating me? I'm not." "Yes, you are," she snapped. "You disappear for 20 minutes, and when I find you, you're whispering with your ex. Do you have any idea what that looks like?" The room's chatter dimmed. Heads turned. Ethan glanced at me, then back at her. "Vanessa, please, don't." "You pleased me," she hissed. "You're here because I let you be here. You think I can't replace you?" Vanessa, her hand cracked across his face before the word finished leaving his mouth. The sound silenced the room completely. Ethan's head snapped to the side. His cheek was already reddening. "Go," she ordered, pointing toward the service doors. "Get out of my sight before I make you regret more than you already do." "I'm not now," she said, her voice razor-sharp. Daniel appeared at my side like he'd been waiting for this. His palm pressed lightly against the small of my back. "Come on," he murmured. I glanced at Ethan. He wasn't looking at me. His jaw was tight, eyes fixed on the floor. Vanessa turned toward the crowd with a too bright smile. "Well, where were we?" The tension in the air was thick enough to choke on. Daniel guided me through the guests, past clusters of people whispering. "Behind champagne flutes, you don't need to be part of this circus," he said under his breath. "I'm not embarrassed," I replied quietly. "Not anymore." He arched an eyebrow. "No," I shook my head. "I used to be." When he left? When I thought it meant something about me? But now? I glanced back, catching sight of Ethan disappearing through the service doors. "It's not my shame to carry." Daniel's lips curved, not quite a smile. "That's what freedom looks like." We reached a quieter corner of the room where the music softened and the laughter didn't quite reach. "I can't believe she did that in front of everyone," I said. Daniel poured 2 glasses from a nearby tray and handed me one. "Vanessa's never been subtle. She doesn't care about the fallout, she just cares about control." I took a sip, the bubbles sharp on my tongue. "Well, she lost some tonight." "She lost more than she realizes," Daniel said. I looked at him, and you seem oddly pleased about that. His expression didn't change, but his eyes gleamed. "I don't enjoy cruelty, but I do enjoy balance being restored." "Balance," I repeated, almost laughing. "You make it sound so strategic." "It usually is." He clinked his glass against mine. "To freedom, then." I hesitated, then tapped mine back. To freedom. The music swelled again in the background, but it felt distant now, like I'd stepped into a different world entirely. Daniel's voice lowered. You handled yourself well. I didn't do anything, I said. Exactly, he replied. You didn't chase, you didn't explain, you didn't try to save him. That's the strongest move you could have made. I set my glass down. It wasn't a move. I'm just done. That's when it counts, he said simply. I let the words settle between us across the room. Vanessa laughed too loudly at something someone said, the sound brittle and forced. I caught her eye for a fraction of a second. She looked away. First, Daniel noticed. She's rattled. Could, I said, and meant it. We stood there a moment longer, watching the party swirl on without us. For the first time in months, I felt light, not victorious. Not vindicated. Free. Maya slid into the cafe booth across from me, eyes bright. You've seen the news, right? I stirred my coffee. If you mean the whispers, then yes. She leaned in. Whispers. I'll try fireworks. Vanessa dumped him. Publicly. Tossed him out of her house like last week's trash. I raised an eyebrow. That was fast. She didn't waste time, Maya said. Apparently she told everyone it was irreconcilable differences, but someone at the party swears. She called him useless. I sipped my drink, letting the heat curl through me. Sounds about right. She's already unfollowed him on everything, Maya went on. And Ethan, he's vanished. I glanced out the window. He'll surface eventually, yeah. But where? His job's gone. His network's gone. Even the guys he used to brag about hanging with don't want to be seen with him now. I set my cup down. I thought I'd feel something else. Maya smirked, triumphant. Exactly. I shook my head, but it's not there. I'm just done. Done, she repeated. You've basically won. Maybe, I said. But it doesn't feel like winning. Feels like putting down a weight I've been carrying for too long. Maya tilted her head. Closure then. Yeah, that, she smiled faintly. That's better than revenge anyway, is it? I asked, because part of me wanted him to see me succeed. To regret everything. But the truth, I don't care if he does or not. Maya leaned back. That's when you know you've actually moved on. I tapped my fingers against the mug. So what now? What do you mean? I've spent months, maybe years with him at the center of my thoughts, whether I hated him or missed him or both. Now there's just space. Maya grinned. Fill it with something better. Someone better. I laughed. Not rushing into that. Fair enough. But you should celebrate, she said. Even if it's just to mark the fact you're free of him. I thought about that. Maybe I will. She narrowed her eyes. You're too calm about all this. No gloating, no smug smile. Would that make it better? I asked. For me, maybe, she teased. I smiled, but it wasn't the sharp kind. I think the real win is that I don't need to prove anything to him anymore. Or to anyone. That's annoyingly mature, she said, rolling her eyes. I'll take it as a compliment. Maya sipped her tea. You know, people keep asking if you've planned all this. You set Vanessa up to humiliate him? Did you tell them the truth? Course. I said you just showed up, looked amazing, and let them destroy each other. That's pretty much what happened, I admitted. She gave me a sly look. Still, you didn't exactly stop it. I shrugged. I didn't have to. They were already on a collision course. I just happened to be in the room when it happened. Lucky you. Lucky me, I echoed. Maya tilted her head. Do you think he'll reach out again? Maybe, but I won't answer. Her brows rose. You're sure? Absolutely. I traced the rim of my mug. If I pick up, it means I still care, and I don't. Maya studied me for a moment. You've changed, you know? Good changed? The best kind. You're lighter. Like you've been carrying someone else's mistakes on your back, and you've finally set them down. I thought about Ethan, his voice in the hallway that night, the desperation in his eyes. Yeah, I think that's exactly it. We sat in comfortable silence for a minute, the hum of the cafe filling the space. Then Maya grinned. So, celebration. I laughed. All right, but nothing too dramatic. No promises, she said, standing. You know, I like dramatic. 2 days later, I walked past the newsstand. Ethan's photo was splashed on a glossy cover, the headline screaming about a fallen golden boy. I didn't stop to read it. My phone buzzed in my pocket. Maya. Again, champagne tonight? I texted back. Yes, the air was cool, the sky sharp and blue. My reflection in the glass doors looked steady. I kept walking. Daniel pulled out the chair for me, his hand light on the backrest. I'm glad you said yes. I smiled faintly. You made it sound impossible to refuse? Good, he said, settling across from me. Because tonight isn't about anyone else, just us. That's a relief, I replied. No staged introductions, no hidden agendas. He shook his head. No masks. Just dinner. I studied him for a moment. Why now? His gaze didn't waver. 'Cause I've been watching. You navigate all of this with more grace than most people I know. And I wanted to know you without the noise. Grace? I repeated, with a hint of disbelief. Is that what you call it? That's exactly what I call it, he said. You didn't fight dirty, even when you could have. You'll let them destroy themselves. I picked up my menu. Sometimes the best strategy is to stay out of the way. It's true, he said, but it takes strength to do that. I glanced up. You're not just flattering me to make this dinner go smoothly, are you? He grinned. If I were, you'd know. The waiter approached and we ordered. When he left, Daniel leaned in slightly. Do you miss him? I didn't answer immediately. I miss the person I thought he was, but not him. That's fair. What about you? I asked. Ever regret helping me keep up that little performance at the party? Not for a second, he said. Anything? I regret not doing more to make you laugh that night. I raised an eyebrow. Do you think that was possible in that circus? Maybe. Not then, he said. But maybe now. I smirked. That sounds like a challenge. It is, he replied, leaning back. I plan to win. The waiter returned with a basket of bread. I tore a piece, the warm scent rising between us. So, Daniel said, what's next for you? That's the question, isn't it? I said, for the first time in a long time, I'm not planning my life around someone else's shadow. That's a good place to start. I tilted my head, and you? What's next for you? Dinner, he said simply. And then seeing where the night goes. Aqua laughed quietly. That's refreshingly uncomplicated. Life's complicated enough, he said. You deserve something easier. Do I? I asked. Yes, he said without hesitation. You've been surviving. You should start living again. I looked at him, really looked, and realized there was no pity in his eyes. It's just respect. The food arrived, and for a few minutes we focused on eating. Then Daniel said, tell me something true that you've never said out loud. I thought for a moment. I thought revenge would feel better, but it didn't. It just cleared space. And what's filling that space now? He asked. I smiled, faintly. Maybe this, he nodded once. Your turn to ask me? All right, I said. What's one thing you've never admitted? That I almost didn't approach you that night because I didn't want to get pulled into drama. Now I'm glad I did. I set down my fork. That's surprisingly honest. I figured you'd prefer it that way. We lingered over the last bites. Conversation flowing easier than I expected. Do you ever think about how strange it is? I said, that all of this, the chaos, the fallout, tended up leading here. Life's strange, he said. But sometimes it gets it right. I laughed softly. You're dangerously good at this dinner thing. I told you, he said with a smile. Challenge accepted. Later, as we stepped outside, the night air wrapped around us, cool and clean. Walk a bit, he asked. Sure. The city hummed around us, streetlights casting soft pools of gold. "You seem lighter," Daniel said after a block. "I feel lighter," I admitted. "Like I've stepped out of something I didn't realize was weighing me down." "That's what happens when you let go of people who don't respect you," he said. I glanced at him. "That sounds like experience talking." "Maybe," he said with a shrug. "Or maybe it's just obvious when it's someone else." We stopped at the corner, the crosswalk glowing white. "You know," I said, "Ethan could never have given me this." "What's this?" "This feeling," I said. "Not because of money or status, because of respect. Because you see me," he smiled, a quiet kind. "Then I hope you let me keep seeing you." I felt the corners of my mouth lift. "We'll see." As we crossed the street, I realized I was really laughing for the first time in months, and it felt nothing like revenge. It felt like beginning. The room shimmered with soft golden light. Laughter bubbling up from every corner. Glasses clinked, music drifted through the air, and for the first time in years, felt like the center of something I wanted to be part of. Daniel brushed my hand. "Nervous?" "Not even a little," I said, scanning the smiling faces. "It's a good crowd," he grinned. "You picked them." "That's the point," I said. "I only invited people who don't make me want to fake a smile." "Refreshing," he said, lifting his champagne. "To us," I touched my glass to his. "To us," the evening rolled on. Guests moving in clusters, conversations overlapping like waves. I floated from group to group, laughter catching easily in my throat. "Congratulations!" "You too," Maya said, pulling me into a quick hug. "You look happy." "I am," I said. "And before you ask, no, I'm not overthinking it." "Good," she said. "You deserve something simple and good." Daniel appeared at my side again, hand warm against my back. "She's also being a flawless host." I laughed. Translation: "I've managed not to spill anything yet." "That too," he said. I wandered toward the bar for a refill, weaving past a group of Daniel's colleagues. And then I saw him, Ethan. His hair was a little longer, his shirt sleeves rolled up, a bar towel draped over his shoulder. He was pouring a drink for someone, his expression practiced and neutral. For a moment, the noise of the party seemed to fade. His eyes lifted, met mine. Recognition flickered just for a second. "Everything all right?" Daniel's voice broke the moment. I turned back to him. "Perfect. You're sure?" he asked. I smiled. "Positive." Back at the bar, the bartender Ethan moved down to the far end without a word. I didn't follow him. Instead, I returned to the crowd, joining Maya and a few friends by the window. "You seem lighter," Maya said. "Probably because I am," I said. "This is the first party I've ever hosted where I'm not bracing for someone to ruin it." Daniel chuckled. "I'm under strict orders not to spill wine on the rug." "Strict?" I said. "Oh, non-negotiable." An hour later, Daniel and I stood by the cake, listening to the clink of forks and the hum of conversation. "This is nice," he said softly. "It is," I agreed. "Any ghosts tonight?" he asked, without looking at me. I hesitated, then answered honestly. "One. But he's just background noise now. That's progress." "That's freedom," I said. As the night wore on, the music shifted to something slower, warmer. Daniel offered his hand. "Dance." I laughed. "Are you going to step on my feet?" "Highly possible," he said. I took his hand anyway. We swayed in the soft glow of the room, the rest of the party blurring around us. "You know," he said, "you're good at this, being happy." "I'm learning," I replied. "It's easier when I'm not trying to impress anyone." "You're not trying to impress me?" he teased. "Not anymore," I said. "I think you're stuck with me as I am." "Perfect," he said, later. I found myself by the bar again, this time with no hesitation. I ordered a sparkling water, and Ethan slid it toward me without meeting my eyes. "Thanks," said simply. He nodded once. I walked away without looking back. Daniel intercepted me, halfway across the room. "All good, all great," I said. No last words for him, he asked. None needed, I said. That part of my life's over. Clean break, he said. The cleanest. We ended the night surrounded by friends, their voices rising, in a final toast. To love, someone said, 2 second chances. Maya added, grinning at me. I lifted my glass. To moving forward, and when I drank, it wasn't to prove anything to anyone. It was because the words were true. That brief glance at the bar never replayed in my mind. I didn't wonder what Ethan was thinking, or whether he regretted anything, because I wasn't that girl anymore. And this time, the party was mine. The party had thinned laughter now, a low hum drifting from the main room. I slipped out onto the balcony, letting the cool night air wrap around me. Below, the city stretched out like 1,000 tiny suns. Daniel followed me, leaning on the railing. Hiding, breathing, I said. There's a difference, he smiled. Too many congratulations. Too many questions about the honeymoon, I said. As if we've even decided. He laughed. We could just disappear for a week and let them guess. I like that plan. We stood there for a moment. Quiet. The kind of quiet that doesn't demand to be filled. You seem somewhere else, he said. I was just thinking, I said, about a girl I used to know. Anyone I'd like? Ha. He asked lightly. You wouldn't recognize her? I said. She thought Ethan was forever. She thought her life ended when he walked away. Daniel studied me. And now she's gone, I said, and I'm here instead. The glass door slid open. Maya stepped out with a half-empty champagne flute. You two are hiding, she accused. I told you, I said. Breathing. She grinned. Fine, just don't breathe too long. People are looking for the stars of the night. We'll be in soon, Daniel promised. Maya winked at me before heading back in. Daniel tilted his head toward the city. Do you ever think about him? Not in the way you think, I said. Not longing. It's observation. Observation. Like watching a rerun of a show you used to love and realizing it's not that good anymore. He chuckled. Harsh, true, I said. My life isn't about him anymore. Hasn't been for a long time. I glanced through the glass, saw Ethan still behind the bar, stacking glasses mechanically. He didn't look up. Daniel followed my gaze. Does he know that I don't care? I asked. He knows, and that's enough. It's everything, I said. Some people get their revenge by tearing the other person down. I got mine by building myself up so high he can't reach me. Daniel smiled. Untouchable. Exactly. We stood there in the cool night air, city lights flickering below. Do you miss the old you? He asked. I shook my head. She was too willing to break herself to fit into someone else's life. I'd never do that again. He slipped his arm around me. Good. I like the you I met. I like her too, I said softly. The door opened again, Maya, this time with a plate of cake. Last call before I eat the rest, she said. I took the fork from her. You're a menace, and you're avoiding the party. Savoring the moment, I said. Daniel laughed. We'll be in soon. Maya rolled her eyes and left us again. Daniel leaned closer, ready to go back in. In a minute, I said. I just want to stand here a little longer. Think about the past. Thinking about the future, I corrected. The past can watch from the sidelines where it belongs. I let my gaze wander back to the skyline, the endless stretch of lights. Somewhere in that maze, the girl I used to be had disappeared for good, and in her place, me, stronger, wiser, untouchable. Daniel kissed my temple. Whatever you're thinking, it looks good on you. It's just peace, I said. Feels strange in a good way. Then keep it, he said. I intend to. Turned back toward the door, the hum of voices spilling out to meet us. Last words before we rejoin civilization. Daniel asked. Yeah, I said, smiling. I